anyone ever heard of Hartwell Lake area? Okay, in that area, at that time, it was Seneca River. It wasn't Hartwell Lake, it was Seneca River. And that's where they made electricity for the city of Anderson, right down Seneca River. And later on, my dad was we worked for a family, a white family. Later on, my dad decided that I'm the eighth of 9 children, my family. And he decided that his children were going to learn to be educated and take care of themselves. So on the little farm that we had, he finally was able to purchase 164 acres of land down at the Seneca River at that time. But as you know, progress goes on, and later on, when the Hartwell Lake project was approved, we had to move our house and sell our land to the federal government in order for it to make the progress where Lake Hartwell is right now. But anyway, we moved off that land, and at that time, there were no schools for black children to go to in that area, except for one little place called Mount Pleasant. It was a 2-room school, and we had to walk for miles to get there. It was 1st through 6th grade. So, along with my sisters, we walked a long ways to get to school. And when you finish 6th grade, all across Anderson County, if you lived in Williamston, Belton, Honeypath, or whatever, in order to go to get an education past the 6th grade, you had to come to Anderson, where Reed Street, a black school, was built for black students. So when I finished 6th grade, in my area, my parents made arrangements because we lived way out in the country. Reed Street was downtown Anderson. So how could I get there? My mom had a friend who lived in Anderson, and she arranged for me to be what we call being boarded. Would bring me to town on Monday morning or Sunday afternoon, and I would be able to go to Reed Street to get my high school diploma. And so that went on until I was able to finally finish Reed Street. The first 12th grade class, prior to that it was only 11th grade, but we were the first 12th grade class. And I was wondering, how could I get past that? Now, we talked about Seneca. My oldest sister, Jessie, my dad had a brother who lived in Seneca. So in order for her to go to high school, she lived with my uncle to go to, when it's a parent stuff, it was, at the high school at that time, it was, what?
So Anderson Training School?
Anderson Training School. And while she was at Anderson Training School, she became connected with the principal there, and Mr. Cole, okay? Mr. Cole had a connection with Benedict College, and so he was able to get my oldest sister to Benedict College. So with that, she went 2 years and decided to go to Washington to find a better job. She did, went to Washington, and she pulled my next sister to Benedict College. And that's the way it worked. You reach back and pull the other one up. So back to me, when I got finished with Reed Street, and my parents didn't have a lot of money, but my sisters were at that time working in Washington with a government job. And they said, young B, she's gonna get an education. So they made arrangements. When I was a senior, I went to Columbia to compete in a contest. And I won statewide, and guess how much money it was? Scholarship, $100. I won 100 and came back and was able to apply that money to South Carolina State, to go to South Carolina State, and got a little job in the infirmary, and went on and graduated and came back. My first year teaching was elsewhere, Reed Street. Reed Street
Full
School.
circle. Full circle.
But then went to West Side and went to teach there. And Mr. Bowen Wakefield, he was the principal. Came back to work in Anderson at West Side. Somehow I got drugs had entered the Java community on the east side of town. And one little girl overdosed. It just hit me so bad I would tell her. And then Mayor Darwin Wright said, Darwin, what can we do about this? And he appointed me and said, I'm going to appoint you to a committee. You ask for something, you get it. But anyway, this Frank Marley and several brothers, we said, what can be done about this? So went to council and looked around the wall, and guys, all I saw was white folks with pictures on the wall.
Right.
And I said, well, what can be done about this? Got really interested and decided to run for city council. And it was tough because 4 black persons had already run for city council and they were defeated. And how was I, this little black woman, going to get there? But Terrence can tell you it was amazing. But in 1976, I became the first black person to serve on city council. And this mayor here tells a story.
It's true.
She's the longest serving council member in the state.